Alright, let's start with the second lecture. In this lab, we'll be working with MATLAB and Python. For MATLAB, you have the software. For Python in particular, there are many places where you can actually exercise. For example, you can use Jupyter Lab, that is the most widely used. Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab. Then you have PyCharm. Okay, it is also a nice place. Or you can use Colab. Okay, or Anaconda. Okay. All of these are free, so you can just download. Okay, and you can actually practice all of those things here Python. But we'll start Python after the midterm. Okay, before mid we'll be actually discussing MATLAB. So in this lab, okay, in this starting today I'll be discussing with you some of the very basic terminologies of MATLAB. Okay, uh, fundamental basic terminologies. Okay, so listen very carefully, because these things will actually come again and again in the next lectures. So try to understand, okay, a little bit, and try to keep a note. Okay, it will be very helpful later on. So let's start now. Let's start with first one is variable. Variable. Acha, before that, let's go to the our MATLAB. Okay, so this is our actually MATLAB environment. So you probably have this one first. Here you can see this is named as command window. Okay, and here you have workspace. Okay, and this one in particular at first, this is what we call, okay, okay, this one, this is what we call the directory. Okay, this is where your files are gonna be saved. Okay, so I will suggest you to change the directory to a particular folder. For example, I have many folders, I am pushing it here. Okay, so this is my folder that I created, 444416 MATLAB. So you can also create a folder like this. Okay, so whatever you write, whenever you write a program or whenever you write a function, everything will be saved in this directory. Now to do these things, you have to go here. So this is this one, browse for folder. You can just browse for folder, say go to local disk F, then your create a folder and go to that folder, it will automatically happen. Okay, so select a particular folder, but every time you start MATLAB, it will probably by default it will be in C. So just you can check it here and you can just go to that directory every time. Okay, and remember this directory, because whenever you are writing functions, you will need that. Okay, later on you will see. So this is the first step. So always fix your directory first. Okay, so let's write it down, otherwise later you might forget. So directory, this is the first step. Now let's work in the home button. Okay, in the home button you can see there is new script, new live script. Now if you're using 2016 and or the latest editions, you will find this new live script. Otherwise the previous editions this is not available, so don't worry about it, we will not be working in that much. So let's open a new script. Okay, so this is the place, and you can just fix it or you can just uh, put it up. Otherwise then you will have a lot of places here. Okay, so this is what you call an editor. Okay, the editor is where you are going to write your code. Okay, you can also write your code here, but for example, when you are writing 10 lines of code or 15 lines of code, always use the editor. Okay, when you are writing like just like a one line of code or just checking something, checking a function, use this command window. Okay, so let's start. For example, let's see, like I said, uh, let's write a function. For example, let's write a variable. For example, a is equal to 5. That means I am defining this value 5 to this variable a. So whenever I write this variable, okay, you can see in the workspace the variable will automatically appear. Any variable that I define here will automatically come here. I can also do that here. For example, say I can write b is equals to say 10. Okay, then I have to save it first. Okay, you can just control save it. Okay, control save, or you can manually do it from probably what is the save function. Yeah, there is save. Okay, you can actually just give a name. For example, say intro. I give a name intro. uh, Now you can see it has been saved as a .m file. Okay, any MATLAB file that you actually save, it will be saved as a .m. Okay, that is the extension for MATLAB. Then you can go to the editor, and here is this run option. Okay, in the editor and this run option, just run it. You will see this has been run. You can see this is the name of the file that you created. This file actually ran. This was the value was there, and it automatically appeared here in the workspace. Okay, now let's say I perform some arithmetic operation, a plus b. So the value is already saved. You don't have to define the value again. It is already in the workspace. You can work with all the values that are in the workspace. Okay, so a plus b is equal to 15. Say I define another variable c that is equals to a multiple by b. Okay, that is 50. Okay, so I have now c, and this variable is also here in the workspace. Okay, so let's I hope it is clear. Just pause the video if you need, just practice a little bit, otherwise you will not get yourself familiar with the MATLAB. Okay, try to practice. So we have directory, we have second one, we have command window. Okay, command window. Okay, then we saw our script. Okay, our script, and then okay, and here we have defined a variable, right? So we have defined a variable. These are the variables. Okay, now these operations like plus or minus, okay, these are just similar as the basic operations that you use in your real life. So a divided by b, everything is same. Okay, so these are the variables that we have defined. Okay, now so this is our first step. Now let's take a look a bit further. Say for example, x is equals to, I have defined 5 comma 10. Now as you can see, I have used this third bracket. Okay, so when I'm using third bracket, I am creating an array. Okay, an array or a vector. So in the second one, after one, so we have array or a vector. Okay, so for vector we use this third bracket notation. Okay, so we use this third bracket notation that is creating an array, x equals to 5 or 10, or say y is equals to 6 comma 12. Okay, this is another array. You can see all the variables that variables that you're creating here all are saved in the workspace. Okay, sorry, I didn't forget to write it here. So this is the workspace. Okay, so we have created an array and a variable and an array. Okay, now by MATLAB actually is a short form for matrix laboratory. Okay, I said that in the last laboratory. Okay, so matrix laboratory means it is actually MATLAB actually works on matrix manipulation. So when I am writing an array, for example, when I am writing an array, say 2 comma 2 comma 5 comma 6, so you can think of it as a row vector as well. If you remember from your intermediate knowledge, a row vector is like one row and three columns, right? One row, three columns, so you can call it a row vector or a row matrix as well. Okay, similarly we can actually write, for example, y is equals to 6, then a colon. You can see I have used a semicolon, not a colon, a semicolon. Then now you have a column vector. Instead of a row vector, you have a column vector now. So we'll use comma to create a row. We'll use this semicolon to create a different row. Okay, so this is my row vector, this is my column vector. You can actually both we can call both as an array. Okay, so we have two arrays right now. So if we go here, we have seen, so we have row vector, so here we have row or column vector. Okay, so we have seen so far a variable, we have also seen an array. Now if we look at it like set, so if I say do something like this, for example say 1 comma 2, okay, that means they are in the same row. Then I am putting a semicolon there, that means I am going to a new row. Then I am putting 6 comma say 8. Now what do we have? Now we have a 2 by 2 matrix. If you remember from your intermediate, this is a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, I can also create like another variable. For example, say let's make it z. Okay, so 1 comma 9, 0 0 comma 8 comma Okay, now you have, say, 2 by 3 matrix. I have 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so this is a matrix, so everything is actually like a matrix. And another thing, if you saw there, when I am writing this new z, the previous z was overwritten. Now in your workspace the z value is now this one, so don't use the same variable, because if you use the same variable then it will be overwritten. Okay, so be careful here. So we have a row vector, column vector, and now we have a matrix. Okay, so far we have seen how to write a variable, we have seen how to write a array or vector, or say simply a matrix. Okay, let's take a look at another one. For example, say I want to write name. Okay, say for example k is equals to, see this one, for example this is my name, Asif. Sorry. Okay, so for example if I write Asif, so I have used this colon, sorry, my colon apostrophe. Okay, this actually means a character array. Okay, this is what we call 3 a character array. Okay, previously what we did here, so this was a numeric array, so this x, it was a numeric array because all of them were numbers. Okay, now what we have done here, we have created a character array, and now we don't have the third bracket, rather than we are using this apostrophe. Okay, and we can also use, say for example, write another one, say L is equals to, say for example, say Harry. Okay, so instead of apostrophe I use this quotation mark. Okay, this is also, I have another one, so using this is also a string or character array. You can see for now there is a difference, subtle difference in MATLAB, but it doesn't matter for now. You can use both of this thing, apostrophe or the this quotation mark, to define a string. Okay, by simple we can actually call them a string for now. Okay, a string. Later you will see there is a little difference in MATLAB. Actually they are actually defined as a little difference between these two. So far, so you have learned three things. One is a variable, a array or a matrix, then you have this character array or string. Now to define a character array string, we can use this quotation mark. Okay, or we can use this double quotation. Okay, both are fine. Okay, so remember this actually small signs. Okay, what you are using for which, because otherwise they will actually get jumbled up, all of those things. And try to actually I would suggest, try to practice a little bit in your MATLAB for now also. Okay, let me introduce to one other thing in particular. For example, n is equals to, I have used a second bracket now. Okay, for example 7,9. Okay, now you can see it is named as a cell array. Okay, this is actually another type of array. These are actually different. In particular, in the next video we'll actually see why they are actually different, but for now understand this is another type. So this is the fourth type, that is our, okay, cell array. Okay, cell array. So for now we have used this third bracket. Okay, so let's get clear. Okay. Whenever I am using, okay, whenever I am writing an array or a vector or a matrix, I am using this third bracket. Sorry, actually happened. So whenever I am creating a matrix, I will use this third bracket, everything inside. Whenever I am using a character array, I will use this apostrophe. Whenever I am creating a cell array, I will use this third bracket notation. Okay, so sorry for the crude writing. Okay, just remember this thing now, and remember the names for now. Okay, in the next video we'll actually see the difference between these three. Okay, okay, all right.